Hi and welcome along to DR Sports. We're back here with another video. What we thought we'd do in this one is ask the ladies and gentlemen here, which player must have a good season this year in the Premier League? A player where you're saying, you're looking at him and saying, listen, you're under a lot of pressure to have a big season. You know what I mean? Enough is enough.
Yeah.
You must perform. So I've asked everybody to pick out one and then reveal it and then explain to us the reasons why. Let's start with ladies first. Abby, which player do you believe must have a big season this year?
I've gone for Mudryk.
Mikhailo Mudryk of Chelsea.
Listen, I think it's maybe I'm being slightly harsh because he's only been in the Premier League for half a season, but the price tag that came with him was a high one.
£88 million.
£88 million. The way it's just not.
62 it wasn't million 62.
Initial. It's not. You're not doing Klarna.
It's £88 million.
If we win the Premier League or Champions League, then
hold on.
It's 80.
No, so that's why it's 62.
But listen, it's £88 million, and he's on one of these special Chelsea.
How much have we sent?
Was it 9 or 10 year contract?
I can't remember. 8.
8 years.
8 year contract.
I saw people tweeting the other day being like, oh, I've had enough of him. You've got him for another 7.5 years.
Don't pay them people any mind. They're not serious.
Listen, I think he came with a very big price tag.
How you put the price on there for?
Just to reiterate the price. It's not the most expensive signing in the world, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, this guy came in, he was twerking for Arsenal. You swoop in, you get him, and I've seen absolutely nothing to show for it. I've seen nothing to show for it. Not even like a glimpse. Yeah. I haven't seen anything so far. It's not to say he won't turn out good, but I think this is the season. You know, he's been there 6 months. He knows how the Premier League works. He's settled now. This is the season. I need to see some form of repayment from this 8-year contract, £88 million.
Would you agree with that?
No, listen, 100% one of the players this season have got to step up. It's cost a lot of money, 62 million.
88.
And how much we sent to Shakhtar? 62. But in terms of Mudryk, yeah, he does need to step up. I want him to nail down a consistent week in, week out starting spot, and to do that you need to perform. So 100% he's under some pressure. He has to be. Otherwise, what are the expectations?
Who have you gone with? Oh no, sorry. Before you do, you agree with that on Mudryk?
Yeah, I agree. To be fair, I think he's someone, as you said, doing a lot before he signed for the rivals, and at the moment it seems like he doesn't even want to be at Chelsea at times. But
you get that vibe sometimes, don't you? That like he's like, what did I do? I made the wrong choice.
And listen, we've seen a few Chelsea players move over to Arsenal, you know what I'm saying, when it gets to later in the career, but this one might be sooner rather than later, to be fair. Who knows, in a year or two, Mudryk at Arsenal? What
are Chelsea looking for from Mudryk? Because even when you signed him, I was a bit surprised because I'm like, you've got a lot of wide players already.
What am I looking for? I need goals. I need output.
Contribution.
You got to contribute, because you're not one of those wingers that I look at and think you got a special like array of passes in your bag, or you're this kind of, yes, he will go past players, but that's a lot of speed is used for that as well. I just feel like he's got to be contributing with the goals. If you get yourself into goal scoring positions, kind of like a Mane would, or you see Nunes or Salah, all these kind of goal scoring wingers with the pace that they have as well. This is kind of what I want from him in his development, is to contribute with goals and to finish, to be running in behind, not really to be dropping deep and getting involved in the play too much. Just you are quick, use your pace, get in behind, finish.
Yeah. Okay, who did you go for?
Fuad ain't gonna like me for this.
Show it to the camera.
I also.
Anthony.
Show yours too. Me and you thinking the same way.
And you damn! Double for Antony.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. And you know what? I was a big fan of Antony at Ajax. Obviously, born and raised in Amsterdam. I'm obviously part-time Ajax fan, but seeing him under Ten Hag, I thought, that could be a quality player. And even when Ten Hag was rumoured to him, I said, that's the perfect coach for him to take him that next level. 100 million, I never thought he would ever live up to the expectations, but you still expected to see something a little bit more. I think even at the start of this season, for me, he's been so underwhelming. And the issue he has is the fact that United have had the massive L of Jadon Sancho just before that, where they tried for 2 years, going into the third year. He is now going into his second year.
Yeah.
They cannot afford to have Jadon Sancho happen again and still have both of those at the club. So for me, Jadon Sancho is almost like a written off project. This guy though, listen, you must this season step up.
Another
you
guy
must contribute. Goals, assist, overall
Everything.
play,
Everything.
Yep. Like there's so many areas where he's almost so underwhelming. It's not hard for him to improve. That's the thing. So for me, it's an 100 million euros.
He's another guy, about 80 odd million pounds, right? And actually, with the Mudryk deal, they cited Antony as the reason why they wanted so much money. Because they were saying if Antony
broke the
cost
market.
that much,
Yeah.
He broke the market.
we want that amount as well.
So if you set the benchmark for what wingers should be, can you please set the benchmark for how wingers should play?
And these are confident guys.
Yeah.
They talk a lot.
Neck tattoos and blonde hair.
Walk the walk. Walk the walk.
So you're Antony.
Antony as well, because for me, you take a look at Højlund coming in first season. Sancho, like you've mentioned already, is not even a starter at this point. He's coming off the bench, even though he had a decent pre-season. And you're lucky Diallo is not fit. And you're lucky that Piastri's maybe not favoured as well, because otherwise I think they could take your spot the way he's playing. And if you get benched this season when Diallo comes back, or you get benched by a Piastri, and for this fee, for this kind of expectation, crazy. Man United need goals in their attack. They need someone to kind of balance out Rashford on the left-hand side. Yeah. He needs to contribute. He has to contribute.
No one from your club?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I could name my whole 11. We finished 12th.
So Enzo's one I'm looking at.
Enzo.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
for
have
sure.
to
Also,
shackles
look,
off you.
I could name my whole team. That's why I didn't go with my team.
I know Caicedo had a brilliant season last year, but obviously this is now with the fee. I think the biggest problem with all the players that we've just mentioned is the fee. When you're going for such a huge amount of money and there is so much hype. I mean, from a Mudryk perspective, he'd literally paid 6 months of football in Shakhtar. Like, that was it. That is what justified an £88 million price tag. I would say at least with Antony, at least he looked like a decent prospect over a period of time, but the amount of money that comes to them is so difficult with that pressure on you, with that price tag to do well.
Do you know who my mention was as well? Richarlison.
Yeah.
1 goal last season. Harry Kane's left. You're playing front foot, attack-minded football. You're going to get chances. You need to score goals.
He has to do
Fully
it.
agree.
You must score goals.
I think you could say anybody for that Spurs front line. You're looking at Son, who was...
Son's done his time, though, at least.
But Son had
Son's done his time.
He's done his time.
Sorry.
He's
We're
done
not
his
gonna
time.
don't
He's
do this.
contributed in the
Shut
past.
Shut up. Because he was golden boot 2 years ago.
Yes,
The standard
full
that
off,
we dropped-
full off.
Harry
ago.
Kane's
Full off.
just left.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you've just taken the armband.
Yeah, but
Ajax-
it's
Nah,
lot
come on,
different
man.
to
It's different.
Richarlison.
Different.
Yeah, it's a
Nah,
lot
man.
Richarlison, I'm saying for the whole front three
They
in
have
that
to
team.
step up.
It's not even.
Kulusevski, we can't ignore.
I know,
I'm sorry.
but it's not even.
The ability that this guy was getting, as I said, I think on the show before, he was getting compared to Saka a year and a half ago. Now you can't even mention the two in the conversation. I'll get laughed at. We need to see those levels from all three of those,
Absolutely.
in my opinion.
Agree.
Okay, I'm going to give you mine.
Who that?
Kai Havertz.
I like that you've gone home.
Kai Havertz. Kai
You
Havertz,
had a look
right?
inwards.
Yeah, I'm looking at inwards. Kai Havertz was not universally, when this deal was done at Arsenal, there were a lot of Arsenal fans saying, what? Why? Secondly, like you guys all said, a lot of money, £65 million. It's the manager's pick. The manager's gone for him. I was very uncertain at the time. I was thinking to myself, well, why have we gone for Kai Havertz? I looked on it, though, and I tried to put a positive on it because I said to myself, well, Real Madrid also want him. Bayern Munich want him. It's the 3 teams that wanted him. So there must be something there. I never used to see that when he was at Chelsea. I mean, when he was at Chelsea, of course, he scored the winning goal in the Champions League final, which is obviously massive, but not a lot else. And I think he's under a lot of pressure at Arsenal to deliver. So whereas other players would get a lot of patience at Arsenal, I don't think he's going to get that. It's unfair. It is very unfair because every player, lots of players need time.
In their first season.
But I don't think he's going to get the time that the other new signings have got.
Yeah.
He's got to deliver. And as I said, a big price tag. His style already, I mean, there's a lot of people, fans have been saying, he reminds me a bit of Mesut Ozil.
Without the pass.
Yeah.
He's not that dynamic. But I do also, on a positive, remember when he was at Leverkusen, thinking to myself, when you guys bought him, thinking, why didn't we get him? You know what I mean? That's the type of player who would have done brilliantly at Arsenal. So far, what I've seen of him as well, he looks a versatile player. So I think Mikel Arteta's brought him in to play in that sort of number 8 position, box-to-box midfielder. But as we saw in the game the other day against Crystal Palace, and also we saw it in the Community Shield, he can be put up front and his hold-up play, and that is good. So we've seen glimpses, but I do feel with Kai Havertz, it's a season of delivery. I'm just speaking from what I've seen in interviewing fans and that. When you speak about some of the other signings, they're like, yeah, he'll come good.
He's on a very short
When it's Kai Havertz, it's like, yeah, man, didn't really see it. And I'm like, it's funny because I did an interview with some fans after, what game was it? It's the first game against Nottingham Forest. Yeah. And there was one guy and he was tearing into Havertz already. I couldn't believe it. And then a fan came on after him because this fan was saying, why did we sell Xhaka? We should have kept Xhaka, blah, 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 after Havertz. And then the fan who came in after him made a great point when he said, well, listen, we gave Xhaka 3 years before he came good. And he goes, this guy's giving Havertz 1 game. You know what I mean? So he's not going to get the patience. That I can see it already. He's not going to get the patience. He has to deliver. He can deliver. He's a very talented player, but he has to deliver. I mean, obviously, he used to play at Chelsea.
Yeah. I think him and Mason Mount are in a very similar boat.
Mason Mount is in the same position.
You've played in the Premier League for 3 or 4 years. You have no adaptation to the Premier League kind of talk. He hasn't even moved city. He probably hasn't even moved house. Do you know what I'm saying? You kind of must. You must, because you've come in for big fees. You've come in from rival teams as well. And they're very polarising players, both of them. They were very polarising in the Chelsea fan base, and they're going to be very polarising in your fan bases. And the only way to get around that is to deliver the goods and to perform.
Mason Mount, so you're right. Mason Mount is another one that he's under pressure as well to deliver. Yep. You know,
they've already been on him the first 2 years.
I mean, the amount of United fans I've heard saying, "Well, why didn't we get Madison?"
And if Arsenal
instead, I mean, we let Madison go to Tottenham, and we brought in Mason Mount. I mean,
if Arsenal aren't winning, which they are at the moment, he's the first person they're going to look at as a scapegoat. Because when you look at Arsenal's team, they've kind of moved everything around for him. He's the only player that has had to reshuffle the team. Like, you're playing Tomiyasu on the left side defence. Rice is now, like, everything's been moved around, it feels, for Havertz. Whereas before last season, they were just winning and they went on this crazy run. And, you know, Declan Rice, you could just say, he plays the role a bit different to Xhaka, and that's just like one in Timbers immediately just been brilliant until the injury. Havertz is the one where it's like, were you really worth all of this moving and chaos?
And it's the Chelsea thing.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of Arsenal fans are like,
and it's the way he plays as well. It's the way he plays. He's very nonchalant. So if he doesn't deliver with that, long day.
It's the Chelsea thing. There's a lot of fans who are just like, another one. You know what I mean?
We have
another one.
We have a history.
We've had Willian.
Yeah, and so he's under a lot of pressure to deliver, and hopefully he will deliver. And, you know, hopefully the players that have been mentioned here will deliver. Well, no, maybe not all of them. Right. But what do you guys think? I want names from you guys in the comments that, you know, obviously we ain't mentioned everybody. A player that you think in the Premier League that is under a lot of pressure to deliver. He might have come in on a big price tag. He may have come in with a big reputation. And for you, he's had his chance now. Now he has to deliver this season. Let us know in the comments. We might even do another one based off of the amount of comments that come through from you guys, because there are a lot of players that are going to be under a lot of pressure this season. Listen, thank you, Fuad. Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Matisse. And thanks to you guys. Don't forget to subscribe here to DR Sports, and we'll be back soon with another video.